Yes. Yes. You don't see that every day anymore. You can't ask for much better weather in February than mid-50s, sunny in the state of Washington. But it's happening. And people are getting spring fever, including people calling into the dealership. And I had a guy call in, and he's gonna come up here and he wants to drive a Claas tractor. And more specifically, the 880 that's hooked to this blade. We used it for a little snow removal, played around a little bit. So he's gonna come here, and I'm gonna unhook the blade so he doesn't have to drive it with the blade. But this is twofold here. I was in Hawaii when it snowed on vacation, and my wife really likes snow. So the moment I unhook this blade, it most likely will snow again, and I'll make my wife happy. Will it work? Probably, but probably not. But anyways, we gotta unhook this blade. It's a very easy blade to unhook, just a 3-point blade. Claas is one of the only manufacturers that doesn't like warn against hooking up a blade to the front 3-point, because Claas's front 3-point is super strong. It's built for this. A lot of other manufacturers, the manufacturer recommends gusseting this so it doesn't break the tractor in half. But Claas, built strong from the factory. No bracing needed. You may ask, do people come and test drive tractors often? Kind of. A lot of times people buy tractors that they've already run before, so they kind of know what they are. But there's some people that just like to drive them before they buy them. In this case, Claas is new to the tractor business in North America. They've had tractors in Europe since 2000, but in the last few years they brought them to North America. So not everyone's familiar with how they operate. So we get to do a lot more Claas tractor test drives lately than anything else because they're new. And I don't want this guy to drive this tractor with the front blade on and that be his first experience, because it's super wide. I want him to take it down the road so he can experience how smooth, how comfortable this tractor really is, and how it operates. With the blade, some people don't like, I don't need to take it down the road. But no, you need to take a tractor down the road these days, especially when they go 30 miles an hour, 31, 32 in this case. It's very important to take it down the road so you understand how this will perform on the road, because a lot of farming is not just done in the field. It's getting to and from the farm, from the field to the farm, etc., etc. But yeah, let's go and hook this blade. I'll show you how easy it is to unhook. One awesome thing about Claas is they have an integrated joystick in here, and you can hook to the front, hydraulics. But yeah, it runs the front blade if you want to go side to side, up and down. Very, very good location for where your arm is the loader, or not a loader joystick, but it's the front hydraulic joystick. The also cool thing about it is it has a built-in float feature, so you can float it like so, and you just click it out. It's a very nice joystick, very good ergonomics. This is the go forward lever, joystick lever. You could actually run the blade with any of these programmable buttons as well, but this just feels really natural over here with the joystick, so that's why we programmed it to that. One thing, I hope we can get to the other property. This is pretty wide. One way to make yourself a little skinnier is angle the blade. So that's what we're gonna do, and hope we can get to the other property that's where I'm planning on dumping the blade at, is on the other side. It's a little narrow through here, but I think it looks like we'll make it. Might have to raise it up just slightly. Pretty cool blade. right where we had it parked before we had the snow. Got the stands already right there. The nice thing with these tractors, you can usually, yep, just works like so. So, I'm gonna raise it up. I'm gonna undo these balls. These are Euro balls, they're called. And we're gonna get this one over here. That way you don't have to pound pins or anything, you just unhook. Should just go out from under it. Coulda, shoulda, coulda. There it goes. So give it a little momentum. And then we just gotta undo the top link. Sometimes there's some pressure on these. Looks pretty not pressurized, which is nice. Hydraulic ones are even nicer, but this one is gonna do. You wanna get it so you can almost shake this. That's when it's gonna release, just like that. So, pull that dingus, just like that. So we are unhooked from the blade as we back away. Just like that. We're back to tractor stuff again, of a different kind. What makes it really nice with the European style tractors like this Claas is its ball hook front hitch and rear hitch combination. Actually, some of the American tractors, including John Deere and Case, are adding that as an option. You know, when they're adding as an option, they're admitting it's on. They're admitting that it's a good idea. And the European tractors, Fast, JCB, Claas, Fint, they've been doing it forever. But I really like unhooking and hooking to attachments with the European style claw hook, like you saw on the front of this Claas Axion 880. But anyways, one thing I like to do is get this tractor washed before a guy comes and looks at it. So I'm going to hand it off to Grant here in a second. When I find him, he's going to give it a wash. Oh, look, it's Lane.
That's an Axion.
That's an Axion. Special delivery. Something really special in this van. Better check it out. Oh, what's in here? How do you open that? Oh, right there.
Yeah, right there. Looks like shenanigans.
How do you know what it is?
Take the plastic off.
Where are we setting this, Brian?
Probably up against
That's a big one. That's a big deal.
Okay. Going on the front of the store?
So, I've been tasked to get this on the web today. I'll see if it fires up. I got a key. Crossing my fingers. Hoping the battery's not dead. But we'll see. Ugh. Box away. Ugh. Sometimes these old ones really start good and sometimes they don't. Ooh, we got power at least. That's a bonus. Stop. Make sure it's in neutral. Come on. It says no. The machine says no. Needs a little persuasion. Well, we're gonna need some battery backup. Figured. I should have brought the pack out, but I was like, if I bring the pack out, it will start. If I don't, I should have brought the pack out. We got her hooked up. Let's see if she fires. These stairs definitely are tough to climb up one-handed. Here we go. Cross your fingers. she needed. Oh, yes. Yes. You don't see that every day anymore. That was cool. This is an old 5830, so this is the last model. Oh boy. That ain't good. The cutter has just stuck on. Or maybe we'll turn that off. Uh-oh. We got more issues. Oh no, that's just water. Oh man. I don't know what's going on here. Got this. So there's two things going on there that caused that. One, the cutter head was on when it started, so there must be a safety switch that doesn't quite work, or there wasn't one to begin with on this old of a machine. So the cutter head was on, and because it was on, it was turning the auger box and the blower. And we had a lot of rain yesterday, and I think there's some water in there, and it's kind of oozing out for a second. So it's not oil, it is water, it's just dirty water. And it's all because the cutter head was on. I don't think that would have happened if the cutter head wasn't left on. But I have a little inkling it shouldn't have started if the cutter head lever was on. But like I said, safety switch, or this machine's just too old to have a safety switch like that. Anyways, we're gonna get her pictured, get her on the web, and we're gonna address that issue before it's sold. So what I was saying before I got distracted by the cutter head going and all sorts of stuff. Anyways, we got this thing pictured. It's going to go on the web. We're going to sell it. But what I was saying is the 5830 from John Deere has a soft spot in my dad's heart. I feel like more so than most people. My dad sees these things and he sees value in them still. Some people don't. But this was the last chopper made by John Deere. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe built in the USA. After this chopper, you had the 6000 series. The 5830 was the last of the 5000s, and it was built in the USA. After that, they went to the 6000. A lot more electronics on them. These are very simple machines, hence that they are superseding the 6000 series in value. Even though the 6000 series are newer, the 5000s were a little more simpler. People can kind of scab them together and make them work again if you had to. But we still take these on trade. Some dealerships wouldn't because they'd see them as too old, but we do have a market for these, not necessarily in the States, but we do sell some of them in the States, but overseas, out of the state, international markets take these machines because of their simplicity. And they're retrofittable, and pre-emissions definitely helps, but so is the 6000 series. But we have a few of them. We got a 5460, not necessarily super desirable one. But then we got another 5830 with that Kemper head on it. Then we do have a 6850 behind it, and another 6850. So we're gonna put this in Colony-John Deere. Find a parking spot. Hopefully the parking. Oh, there's a Claas mower there. Looked like there was a spot open. Rest assured, I will find a spot. Maybe not buy its brothers and sister John Deere tractors and choppers, but I will find a spot, and this will be on the web. And if you are wanting a little bit more chopper history, we did a video a few years back with me and my dad sat down and discussed chopper history from his point of view. And the 5830 was quite a bit of a discussion piece in that video. If you want to watch that video, I'll put a link below in the description to that video. Anyways, have a good day. So a few weeks back, we had a company Christmas party, and we celebrate some achievements of employees and the company alike. And we had a special achievement that was achieved this year, or this past year. It was Rod Hofager. He's been with us for over 40 years, and we honored him with a 40th year plaque and a little video we made. And he's been with the company as long as I can remember, because I'm not 40 years old yet. So he's been here longer than I have, and I was born here. So Anyways, I hope you enjoy a little movie or a little show we made about Rod and his time of service here. Interviewed a few people around the building about Rod. But congratulations, Rod Hofaker.
My name is Rod Hofaker.
And what is your job description?
Warranty writer, whole goods inventory control, among other things.
Anyway, let's talk about Rod. Yeah, I'd really like to congratulate Rod. It's been, 40 years ago, Rod. It's like, wow. I wish it's so long ago, I don't remember the day I hired you. I wish I had a better memory of the day I hired you. Your cousin was working for me already, and so was Cal. I believe I got this all correct. So you were technically my third hire, and Big Hogadorn, Hoagie we call him, Big Dan. He recommended you. I remember that. You guys were first cousins, so that was kind of interesting. Both from Iowa, so that gave us a little bit of a bond. Rod did every job here.
Rod was doing the parts manager and the service manager. He was running the shop, with doing what Dwayne wanted done, and also sourcing mostly John Deere parts and that type of thing. But so he was wearing both of those hats at that time, and I think he did trucking too.
When I first got here, Rod was in parts. He had the window seat, and then Rod, after Gene left, Rod went into rental. I think Rod, I don't remember.
Yeah, he's a pretty versatile guy. Things I remember about Rod is he didn't shirk a task. I mean, he always would attack anything he was asked to do.
So when we came to work here in Linden, he stayed behind at Clearbrook for a while. And then I decided that wasn't going to work, and so then he moved back into parts here, because Gene was service manager at the time, and then he kind of worked into service manager, and then that got a little muddy and busy, and then went out of parts, service manager, then went into rentals, and then was taking care of inventory. And every time he come to me, I give him a lot of credit. He said, I can't get my work done. Of course, typical boss just thought he wasn't working hard enough. That was not fair. I mean, and a fascinating thing is every time we'd hire a different person, and then we still had too much work, right? So I think this is kind of the first time he feels like he's actually getting most of his work done. He's in charge of inventory, but he's done every job here and done it very well. You're going to see some pictures of where we started on the Badger Road. We actually started before that, but Rod and Hoagie started working for me on the Badger Road, and you had to do everything. You fixed the tractors, we delivered tractors, we unloaded tractors, little did we know. I mean, I was just going to be thankful to make another day, right? I mean, I think we all were. I think you guys, I sometimes look back and I go, why did they come work for me? I mean, I was a long shot. I mean, I was a really long shot. And so they had to put a lot of faith in sticking it out, and then not to mention 40 years. And so one thing led to another. Pretty soon I got 5 guys working out of the Badger Road. We're on top of each other. We're working outside. Then we moved to Clearbrook, and so Rod was my service manager, my parts guy, and he had to do parts upstairs. What a pain in the rear. So he always had to go up them stairs, go do parts. We had microfiche. We should probably dig up some of that old stuff, because most of you youngins don't even know what that is. That's how we looked up parts. And Rod had a card system. That's how he kept them all, organized. So yeah, it was a lot of work. And then, so then he was over the top of the shop. He did service manager and parts guy, and we put an overhead hoist in that shop in the Clearbrook, and somebody told me the other day the Skolton name's still on it. I don't know how that Skolton name got on it, but anyway, just to think that we did everything the hard way. I mean, I look back at those times. We didn't have a cell phone to chase anybody down, We thought a big deal was our radio system. I'm sure Rod's probably got plenty of stories that he remembers better than I do, but we blew up the motor in that old Ford straight truck. I think we put 3 motors in that thing. We overused that thing all the time. Yeah, and it was usually Rod and I and somebody else helping put a different motor in it just because, we had a truck. Because without a truck, you couldn't deliver anything. So, one of the reasons is Rod was so dedicated to getting his work done. He was always comfortable to be in the background. So we don't have hardly any pictures of him. I mean, when I dug back, I spent a whole couple evenings digging through all my pictures, and Rod was never one to be in the front, to be, but yet he was always there.
I think if you're a business that can keep somebody for 5 years, you've done a good job. If you have an employee that can stay with you for 10 years, you've both done a good job. If somebody that stays with you for 40 years, it's pretty incredible. For both Skolton's equipment and for Rod.
Yeah, Rod, congratulations on a nice long 40-year career of service to your customers and to your coworkers. It's awesome.
And Rod, congratulations on 40 years putting up with Dwayne and all the things we do here, and it's always been fun working with you, so congratulations.
It's been, Rod's one of them people, for those of you who don't know him very well, he's everything you want in an employee. Dedication, loyalty. I trusted him with everything, didn't have to worry about it. Came to work every day, sick or not sick, came to work. Just a huge thank you, Rod. You have no idea. I took you for granted for almost every day. I took you for granted. You showed up. And put up with me. Put up with a guy who had no business experience. I'm a farmer that grew up on a farm, and so did you, and we didn't know what we were doing when we started. So it has been a good ride, and you deserve all the acclamation, all the thanks. Appreciate it.
What's the story behind these hats?
They just seem to accumulate. I never really actively collected them, but when you stay in one spot for this long, I guess if I left them at home, my wife would throw them away, so I just brought them here.